Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Arena STL here on the Fuel Sports Network. Got a few things to talk about through Week 8 AFL and also the Arena League Week 3, and also some interesting breaking news that happened just a few hours this evening. But the first thing to go through first before some of the game action, the AFL right before the week announced how the playmat format was going to work, and instead of going kind of similar to what the UFL with the championship have, two teams here, two teams there for a semifinals, then a final, it's actually going to be a format and a scheduling of seeds of 5 teams. Let me get it here. The AFL has just announced under the AFL ownership, teams and football operators have unanimously decided on the structure for the postseason leading up to the Arena Bowl 13 playoffs, which will start July 5th or 6th, so right after the 4th of July. Span 3 weekends and conclude on July 19th, Arena Bowl 33. There will be a 5-team playoff structure with the top 5 teams and winning percentage getting the bid. Any ties will be settled by head-to-head record, then head-to-head points scored, and then average scored points per game played. The first round will be played on, as I said earlier, July 5th or 6th, depending on how the team arena availability. So it's not really confirmed as it is. It depends on if whoever hosts that event on the arena availability on that. During that weekend, the 5th seed team will travel to play the 4th seed team with the winner advancing to the semifinals. The winner of the 4th versus 5th quarterfinal will face the 1st seeded playoff team, while the other semifinal game will be played between the 2nd and 3rd seeded teams. The 1st and 2nd seed teams will host the semifinal game, so 1 and 2 seed gets home field advantage, and that will take place on July 12th or 13th, as I said, depending on the arena team availability for those teams. The winners of the semifinal games will advance to fight for the title of Arena Bowl 33 champions. Arena Bowl 30 will be played at a neutral site on July 19, 2024. And that has yet to be announced quite as of yet. So, because this was when Lee Hutton was in charge, that there were going to be, most of the play games were actually going to be neutral site for future franchises. So that has been kind of thrown out the window, except for the Arena Bowl being held on a neutral site, except, remember, originally it was supposed to be played in Minnesota at the Target Center, but because that team, the Myth, once again, that was the commissioner's wife's team, that was very poorly run and gone, so it's not going to be held there, so be interesting who they announce it. And as of before the week, as of right now, the top 5 teams were, of course, number 1, Albany Firebirds. The Billings Outlaws at number 2. The 3 seed would be the Salina Liberty. Number 4, the Atlanta Predators. And number 5, the Southwest Kansas Storm. Boy, of course, that really hasn't really changed much, but it can be with 2 weeks of the season. First game we're going to do here is the Washington Wolfpack and the Outlaws, and I actually have some highlights of that game. One moment.
Dom Moore, he's equally that tall. Harker quickly back to pass, looking deep. Looks and finds for the touchdown, Derek Harvey. In the shotgun now. In motion, Williams.
Ball's on the ground, Jay.
And the Outlaws look like they have it, and they do. Blake Mitchell pounces on it. There goes Harker, going to straight back to pass.
A little two-move action.
Open. Touchdown, Arthur Anderson, the 4th, all alone.
I'll tell you what, Arthur Anderson.
Burrell drops back, gets the pass, and it's intercepted.
Harvey.
Derek Harvey down inside the 5.
And this
it was a holding call, brought it back, but it was outstanding individual effort. Here's Southwick.
That's Harvey again.
He reached over the end zone. And he isn't expecting to set the world on fire. Here's Burrell, fumbles it from behind, and it's
Harvey's
picked
got
up
it
by Harvey again, and he's going to take it in for the score. Derek Harvey, what a game he's having.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And from those highlights there, you could probably see the player of the game is Billings Outlaws player Derek Harvey. Did both defensive, offense, and this game, what is the best way to describe it? Very one-sided, with the Billings Outlaws beating the Wolfpack 58-18. And as I had Zach last week, though the Wolfpack like, it has good branding, it has good uniforms, it has a good atmosphere. They just need some better players. And that's one of the things there for the off season, because with what I said with the playoff seeding, two of the teams, one of them being the Wolfpack, the other one being the Wichita Regulators, they're out. And they both need help. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. Interesting. Sorry, back. Don't know what happened there. For some reason, it all became buffering there. All right, as I was saying, the Wolfpack and IC Regulators were not doing good at all there. And then when it comes to arena football, there is no draft. Everything is free agency, tryouts, and searching for players with the scouts of the team. So, and like I said, that's such a one-sided game, and the Outlaws, they are good, and they're number 2 seed for a specific reason. Next game we're going to do is one of the more closer, more competitive games, and that is the Kansas City Storm versus West Texas. Here's some highlights of that game.
And DeLeo breaks the tackle. He's down the sideline. 20, 15, breaks the tackle at the boards, and he's going to score. Struck will drop back to the end zone, and he's going to go deep down the field. A man wide open, touchdown! To Lonnie Outlaw, who's got it at midfield, and Lonnie Outlaw just leaped the ball after halftime, and now the throw deep.
Oh my gosh!
Did he bring that down?
Did he come down with that?
Yes,
That's
he
a
did!
touchdown.
Mike Pod's in, and he stayed in net, and it's going to be grabbed by Isaiah Scott. Isaiah Scott makes one man miss in the end zone. Scott breaks it to the near side. Scott, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. And he is Chris Platt. And now again, that little pitch play, and DeLeo is going to score again. And it's going to be a fumbled snap.
And the thing that you didn't want.
He throws to the end zone. Oh!
We got a flag,
it's picked off, but there's a flag on the play.
Very competitive game, one of the best games I've seen in a while for this season. And West Texas came in and got it at the end. I hate that this game ended on a penalty, but as you saw from the highlights, there were a lot of catches that were at the corner of the end zone that actually either one or both the players jumped over the dashboards and into the crowd area, basically. And it was such a good competitive game. And of course, Kansas City Storm, the Southwest Kansas Storm are still trying to stay in the playoff hunt, as they are the number 5 seed currently. So they're still wanting to have that spot there. And West Texas, and we're going to talk about them in a different light here in a moment. In a moment. And actually, my mistake, I'm reading Southwest Kansas Storm lost that game. And they were the number 5 seed, and West Texas beat them, and that could hurt their seeding here in quite a moment. My fault. And this one, went back and forth, defense, offense, and I like these type of games for when it's competitive like this. And it's good, and this affect the playoffs here. As I said before, we're going to talk about West Texas here in a moment. Next game, the other, I wouldn't say non-competitive game, and unfortunately there were no highlights for this game, the Salina Liberty versus the Wichita Regulators, with Salina Liberty beating within the Kansas state lines with the 3 in the Central. Salina beating them 37-12. IC did better because me and Zach on last week's episode, we discussed how IC is pretty much the worst team in the Arena Football League, and it's still showing. They have still yet to get a victory, or either that or it was the victor due to a forfeit from one of the former folded teams. I have to double check that. Salina is still too good, and it'll be between them and Southwest Kansas when it goes to playoff. And of course, Salina has the number 3 seed, so they just need to keep going, and they'll have the number 3 seed winning the Central Division. Next one, which is actually the game I really liked the most and pretty much was the game of the week was the Orlando Prairies versus the Albany Firebirds. And thankfully, this game had some good highlights here.
Powell on third down. He's got it pass complete, and it's a touchdown to CJ. Scored a touchdown. CJ Williams catching a touchdown pass. They're going to look over the top, and it's caught for a touchdown. Or they could throw it to Prince for the touchdown. Medlock to Prince. And Medlock puts Prince in motion. He's going to throw it to Prince, and it's caught for a touchdown. Trying to pull Zach Brown along the ground. They're going to look into the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Cameron Solomon's game. Medlock thought about it. Now he throws it to Townsend. Took a big hit behind the play. Townsend all the way for the touchdown. Powell, and he's going to score the touchdown with 6 seconds left. He's looking deep. And he is going to be taken down and sacked, and that is going to be the ball game.
Yeah, with that one, the Orlando Prairies beat the Albany Firebirds 57-49, and due to that, Albany is no longer undefeated, and there are no longer any undefeated teams within the Arena Football League. And Orlando, at the very beginning, came in, scored. They scored some deuces, got the ball back, scored again, and a deuce too. They had a good lead there. Then Albany came and Orlando came in to fight back. But at the end, Albany, I am so sorry. Orlando came in and beat Albany to get their win against them. And this one had a good game, of course, with Darius Prince still continuing doing what he's doing. Drew Powell, still continuing to do what he's doing. And this will probably be either a semifinal or the finals of the Arena Football League for the Arena Bowl Championship at 33. So it's going to be kind of interesting to go on here. Now to talk about the latest breaking news that has happened that announced a few hours ago, and just to double check if there's anything more to come onto it here, because honestly there is some chances that there has been some news that is breaking during the show time slot. And this was breaking news by Anthony Carter. That was the guy that reported about the whole Philadelphia Soul Switch and other stuff early about the Arena Football League before it changed to what it is right now. And that is that the West Texas Desert Hawks are the 8th team to shut down operations. They announced to cease operations, though that technically seems to be in limbo now because it has been reported here by Anthony Carter that a league official told him that they are aware of the situation and discussing it internally. No other is being shared. So it looks like either could be 8th or it could be a limbo type thing because now the Arena Football League, remember, they started with 16 teams. Now they're only down to half with 8. And when it comes to this specific situation, this isn't kind of like that. But you had inexperienced owners with the Iowa Rampage, with that whole deal. Or this has something similar to some of the league old teams, with the Louisiana Voodoo, the Philadelphia Soul. Though it could be, could be similar to what happened with the Rapid City Marshals, though, because they mostly were dealing with the money that they wanted from the deal of all this champion indoor football teams going into the Arena Football League. Though with this one, if you remember, the Desert Hawks rebranded because last year they were a different team name in the National Arena League. And then, of course, a few weeks ago, the National Arena League was actually suing the Desert Hawks owner because they believed he was in breach of their contract of joining into the Arena Football League. And with that one, there was actually a chance of a stay by the judge for them not to be played. Then they settled, of course, in court for I don't know what disclosed amount. And if they did fold, it could be possibly because of that amount and some other things too. But it's just kind of interesting now because now we started with 16 and possibly down to 8. So we're still waiting to get the final word because with the scheduling, there's a chance of someone getting a forfeit because there is a team that technically still has a bye here for this weekend. So we're going to take a little bit of break here. We're going to discuss the Arena League Week 3.
Houston, we've triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor, and together we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink, it's a statement, a fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust. Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
Same great taste. Yes, same great taste. Same great taste.
And we're back. Now with week 3 of the Arena League, there, of course, if people don't know, there's only 4 teams, so 2 games to talk about. First one is actually a rematch from week 2 when the Iowa Woo lost to the Kansas City Goats at their place, 56-91. In this case, going to KC, I will say there's one thing. KC Goats, you have improved tremendously from the last streaming game because if people don't remember, 2 episodes ago I complained there were some kind of pictures and kind of dark, and of course the Irish just would make them sound like when it comes to like using the announcing or the reporter type stuff. Commentating was in there, but there was a lot of static. So it was great to see that they fixed that problem. And as I said before, it was still the same result, but a bit different because week 2, 91-56, so kind of a close to like 30 to 40 point range. This time, the Iowa Woo lost only by 20 points. So some improvement, but KC Goats is still undefeated in the Arena League. Now, the second one, of course, you had the Duluth Monsters take on the Ozark Lurkers, and this is a rematch from week 1 when they actually went to Duluth, and Duluth Monsters actually got their revenge and actually beat the Lunkers 48-38. And as of right now with the standings here in the Arena League, you got the KC Goats 3-0 at number 1. Number 2, you got Ozark Lunkers at 1-1. And then I guess because there's some, I don't know, as of right now with the website, the Monsters are technically 3 at 1-1 as well. And of course, for the Woo are 0-3. And for the playoff format for the Arena League, it is like, of course, like 1-4, 2-3. That will be done a little bit later here in a few weeks for the Arena League. Now, I just wanted to see here, because, see, we're getting very close to the end of the Arena Football League. And, of course, hopefully we'll see if the whole Texas Desert Hawk thing gets done. But we have to go back and see, like, how I just want to remind people how this season has gone for the Arena Football League, because remember, we had high hopes with, of course, with Lee Hunt saying everything up to the sun, and then things just kept breaking down and stuff. Because remember, some of these games, heck, I believe that Orlando Albany game was actually supposed to be broadcasted on the NFL Network, and now it's just amazing to see how things have changed from here to now, and with only 2 weeks left in the regular season. And I'm just trying to see now, of course, if we're down to 8, like, I know it hurts, and they're still trying they're hiring all these people here last week with me and Zach talk and all that stuff. Of course, I do think if the Desert Hawks do cease operations, it will hurt it a little bit more. We just have to see, because remember what I said, when it comes to the Desert Hawks, this team had trouble because of that lawsuit and everything. And it's hard to tell, could this be more the owner, or is this the league, or could it be just a mixture of the two? We'll have to see here. We'll probably, hopefully announce it as of right now from the original report, Anthony Carter. There has been nothing new out of this moment. Well, now I guess we'll talk about the preview for the Week 9 games for the Arena Football League here, because, of course, I have to put a question mark on one here, and just a reminder, all these games are on YouTube, because remember, when it came to Arena Football League a few weeks ago, it was either YouTube or the Viry Network. They got rid of the Viry Network, and like I said before, it was good at the moment, but this is a lot better, more convenient, and plus, the Viry Network, I think it was more of a ghost town, even though, at least according to one report, the first game the Viry Network had on Week 1, there were supposedly 65,000, so kind of interesting, so we'll have to see. Though, on YouTube numbers, though, the Arena League and Arena Football League, they're kind of almost the same or kind of comparable, though, to be fair, you got 2 teams playing and 8, well, soon to be, 8, because each week a team has a bye, though we're kind of seeing at the moment if that changes here in a few hours or the next few days. Of course, the one in question mark, of course, involving West Texas Desert Hawks. They're supposed to travel to Salina, Kansas, the Liberty, and that game is at 7:30 this Saturday night. Now, we're going to go as if they are playing. And with West Texas versus Salina, West Texas is still trying to get for the playoffs here. And once again, like I said before, going to see if they will play. But Salina is still pretty much number 1, as I said, in the Central Division. And I don't think they want to relax, because the KC Storm, even though with their loss, they could come back a little bit later. So with that game there, I got the Liberty beating the West Texas Desert Hawks. And, of course, we'll see if that could change, because as of right now, the team that has the bye is the Nashville Cats. So if they did seem to cease operations, Nashville could travel to Salina. That's actually not that bad of a drive or travel destination. So, and if that happened, honestly, that would be a good matchup. And Nashville is the team that, with their record, that they're actually better on paper than they are for their record. So if that happened, I actually could see Nashville beating Salina. But I digress. Next one, for the one that's at 6 o'clock Saturday evening, Washington Wolfpack goes to the Southwest Kansas Storm, and I see the Kansas Storm just being Washington. Washington, even though they're better than the Regulators, they need a heck of a lot of an upgrade after this season. And Kansas Storm, they are mad of how that game ended, of course, because it was so close, and then to have it ended on a penalty to end the game was not good for team morale. Not good at all. Next one, and this isn't going to be good at all. Orlando Predators versus the Wichita Regulars. That's a 7 o'clock one, and I actually prefer how they have this week's schedule for the Arena Football League. One at 6, one at 7, one at 7:30, one at 8. So we actually have a break. We don't have to go back and forth on these there, though. I kind of do watch the games right after they're done just to get some, remember what happens in the game. So when it comes to that one, the Predators they're just going to continue on and just beat IC, so that's not going to be any competition for them. The last one, though, you have Albany versus, of course, where did it go here? That's odd. Can't seem to. Why does it not show on my notes? Give me a moment here. Oh, there we are. Come on here. Yeah, this is the game of the week here. Albany Firebirds going to Billings, Montana to face the excuse me there, the Billings Outlaws. This is pretty much going to be like another matchup for the Rita Bowl 33, and this is going to probably be very close because if I remember correctly, Albany did beat Billings in an earlier matchup here, so now they're going to Montana to face them, and this is going to be probably a very close game, though. Albany coming back from a loss, and that their first loss, or Billings riding a high, so it would be a coin flip for this game here. And like I said before, Nashville has a bye currently right now, but depending on what happens with West Texas, that could change. All right, now week 4 for the Arena League, and thankfully their scheduling is a lot better this week because last week all the games from both leagues were like right at the same time, and it was like, oh dear Lord. All right, first game, and this week, one game's on Saturday, one game is on Sunday. Yes. First one, we have the Ozark Lunkers, and are going to Waterloo, Iowa to face the Woo. This is going to be interesting because both teams are at a loss here. Ozark trying to recover from a loss, and Woo, even though they improved, they also lost. For this one, I'll go with the Ozark Lunkers to beat the Woo. Then the next one, you have the KC Goats, the undefeated KC Goats, going to Duluth to face the Monsters. And if I remember correctly, I think the Monsters fake KC. No, that was Ozark, my fault. So this is the first time matchup between these two teams. And it's going to be quite interesting with this. So, because with the Monsters, you've got that Terrence, the kick returner formerly for the Minnesota Myth, and also Duluth wants to get that home crowd going. So I'm probably going to say that for this one, I'm actually going to have the Duluth pull the upset, and Casey will no longer be undefeated. So I'll have the Duluth Harbor Monsters beat the Kansas City Goats. Not really much to talk about this week, unfortunately, and hopefully have a guest here next week for Arena STL. But all in all, it's a very interesting week now because now it's just pretty much Arena Football League here for spring football since the UFL had their championship last weekend. So now it's just more of Arena Football here at this moment, not just the Arena League and the Arena Football League, but also stuff more because we're getting close to the Indoor Football League to end their season as well. Anyway, I will hopefully go over the games here next week, and I'll see you guys next week.